Quaid Azam, Part 204. In addition, he would not accept participation of the princely states in government unless they adopted representative institutions. Lothian thought that the Congress might therefore force a crisis over the federation proposals if that idea was advanced determinedly. While Linlithgow, though, remained optimistic, he felt that if he could keep Congress in office for another year, they could not, then refuse to join the Federation. How he arrived at such a conclusion remains obscure. However, the Muslims had by then decided that if they were to hold their ground, which they must as an organization, then they had to act as an effective opposition to this Hindu Congress. In consequence, the chances of a united India emerging as the prize of independence were now beginning to recede, and all as a consequence of Congress action up till now, the cumulative effect of their policies and misjudgments, Jawaharlal Nehru having candidly voiced his opposition to a federation, went further when a tour of North and Northwest India in October 1937, and emphasized that the ultimate aim of the Congress was to overthrow the present constitution and its replacement by one based on severance of British connection. Significantly, he also forecast that a European war was now inevitable, which he said would give an opportunity to Congress to fight for independence. The most important aspect of our struggle, he declared, was not the acceptance of the office, but organizing of the masses and instilling the mass revolutionary mentality in them. Of equal importance, he said, was the recruiting of Muslims into the ranks of Congress. In contrast, Gandhi's position was clear and not all extreme. He had personally cancelled a proposal that Congress ministries ought to resign if the proposed federation was implemented. Though he shared the objection voiced by Jawaharlal Nehru to Lord Lothian, Gandhi would also not oppose federation because of Nehru's objection to the princely states' position. He was far more worried about the reservations of defense and external affairs, and he sought the assurance that these two subjects would cease to be reserved to the center. For the Muslims, yearning to have an all-India figure had them in these resting days found in Muhammad Ali Jinnah as the president of the Muslim League, not just a sole spokesman, but in reality also the sole savior. When he first met the Viceroy, Linlithgow could not foresee the hold that Jinnah would eventually have over the Muslims. I do not frankly feel any deep confidence in him, the Viceroy had then written, and I suspect that he is one of those political leaders who can play a personal hand, but no other, and whose permanent control on the allegiance of their followers is frequently open to question. This was 1937. The Viceroy's assessment superficial and hasty, took no account of how things were changing, and at a pace faster than his assessment, where Jinnah was already then the central figure of the Muslim politics at the national level. Jinnah too, like Gandhi, did not come out unequivocally against the federation proposals. Though in the legislature he had attacked the federal part of the 1935 Act as thoroughly a rotten, fundamentally had, and totally unacceptable, as well as not workable. It was unacceptable and it was not workable. Nevertheless, he had reaffirmed that he was not opposed to All India Federation as such, but merely to the scheme put forward by the British government. Speech in the Legislative Assembly, 7 February 1935. The report of the Joint Parliament Committee on Indian Constitutional Reforms. Equally like the Hindu leaders whom Viceroy Lord Linlithgow had met, Jinnah at his meeting thought they should start with a federated British India.